In today's video, we'll do a quick analysis of the big three: Ethereum, Bitcoin, and Solana, whatever the hell. And actually, Ethereum kind of on the verge of potentially a major break here, depending upon the closure tonight. So a very, very big one incoming. Other than that, we can just jump right into this one, starting off with actually the chart of the day, which is Ethereum in this case, which is a 5-day chart for Ethereum. Just make sure that you can actually see it on my screen over here, and it does look like we are good. And in this case, the 5-day time frame is going to be closing tonight in 17 hours, 57 minutes, and 11 seconds and ticking. As of right now, the 5-day time frame is right at the median band on the HPDR bands, which is currently 37,000, not 37,000, 3752, 3,752. That's what I'm trying to say. If Ethereum does close above that pivot as of tonight, very specifically tonight, then I would be looking for Ethereum to mount its next assault towards $4,000, probably above $4,000, somewhere between, let's say, $4,000 and about $4,400 in this pocket right here. Would be kind of like the next area of interest. We do see that HPDRV representing volatility is at extreme lows as of right now, and the HPDRO representing the directional volatility is starting to tick up. So this would actually be a setup for general continuation here in an overall uptrend, and this would be essentially the next higher low at $3,300 before this one, very likely tries higher into the, low 4,000s, maybe even as much as 4,700 if things get really, really crazy, but that'd be further on down the road. And I do suspect that that move would not just be instantaneous. You're not going to see that happen in tomorrow, for example. You're going to see that happen over the next probably 10 to 20 days, perhaps something like that. Maybe a month. It can take some time. That is a variable right there. But ultimately, the next direction would be set, and this would essentially be continuation off of the next higher low. So in that case, Ethereum actually looking like one of the more interesting charts in the short term, contrasting that with Solana, Sol, whatever the fuck, over here. This one a little bit more similar to Bitcoin in the sense that it is consolidating, but it is relatively weak compared to, I would say, Ethereum and Bitcoin in this case. Not necessarily to say that it is weak, but it is just not as strong as those other charts, as those ones are essentially looking for continuation. This one's more or less hugging the lows as of right now. Now, the title of this video is One More Chance, and I do believe that there will be, maybe one more chance at a test for the lows for Solana, perhaps somewhere down around, low 170s, completely fine. But ultimately, the next big thing that I'd really be mindful of if you are going to see Solana flip around and once again, threaten upside is basically a closure back above this little high right here, the wick high of Monday, which was, where is it? About 180. If you do see a closure back above 180, I would be looking for Solana to very likely trade back up, towards 200 plus. I do think that Solana probably plays a little bit after Ethereum and Bitcoin. And we are starting to see HPDRO starting to flip around here as well with positive momentum alongside extreme lows or almost extreme lows on HPDRV. So this is a setup. This is a setup based off of this consolidation that Solana's been in basically for the past, month or so now. Yeah, about a month now. And it is going to be interpreted first and foremost as a bullish consolidation as long as higher lows are maintained. Higher lows are maintained above about 165-ish, let's say. So as long as that is consistent, it's kind of like Bitcoin or Ethereum, still upside imminent, upside more likely, just kind of a timing question, if you will. Anyways, yes, so we've talked about that. Let's get into Bitcoin now. Bitcoin did close above the HPDR median that we were looking at yesterday. That was $70,000. Did even test the top side of the 38.2 level as well. And is going to have another chance today to close above the median, which probably does set it up for basically another retest of all-time highs on CME, which is mid 74s basically. So while Bitcoin is setting up right here, I do want to express that I actually don't think that Bitcoin is in the process of making a move at this exact moment. And I realize that I'm saying way too many fucking times, like a 15-year-old teenager, Anyways, yes, so in this case, I did want to call out that the Bitcoin corollaries, that would be, and let me just take this off for a second, just to make this load really, really fast. That would be symbol IBIT, which is where the fuck do I have it? Which is the BlackRock ETF doing the same thing right here, putting in yet another higher low. I do think that there could be, very easily short-term downside move to fill this gap at 39.5 or so. But ultimately, this is going to be considered a bullish consolidation. And also, of course, Coinbase, which, more or less doing the same thing. Again, higher low in place at about 240, just needs to maintain above there. This one probably getting ready for a charge back up toward its 280 highs. But I do think that things are probably likely to take time. Now, I'm going to say this right at the outset. When I talk about what I'm going to talk about, it's a boring fucking day. It's a real boring day, and I don't have too many new things to say as far as Bitcoin goes. And that is the moon phases. Yes, that's right. The fucking moon phases. The witches, as this chart is actually, this chart template is called over here. It is funny. It is funny to look at because, we all like to think of ourselves as like highly esteemed, very logical geniuses. And then you look at the moon chart and you're like, holy shit. If I just traded the moon chart, I would probably be better than what I am. I mean, that is a gone that, if you're being honest with yourself, it's probably not bad. And as you can see here, I've marked off all of the blue moons. I don't know what you call this one over here. Full moon, half moon, new moon, whatever the fuck. We just got a new one of these as of last night. And we'll just call it like kind of a bearish moon, if you will, or a downside move. And, anytime that we have seen this, anytime that we've really seen this in the past few years here, it has been a signal of either downside beginning or, at minimum, a sideways consolidation. And when I'm talking about sideways consolidation, I'm talking about some like, what you're seeing right here, what you're seeing right here, what you're seeing right here. Again, all of these were resolved to the upside, but it did imply there was about 2 weeks of sideways. Maybe there was like a slightly new high printed alongside of that, but there wasn't that explosive move to the upside that I think a lot of people were looking for, except for this one right here that's staring me in front of my face. But those are kind of few and far between if you do go ahead and back test this yourself. So again, it's one of those things where it's like, look, logically, I want to look at something like this. I'm like, bullshit, go fuck yourself, witches. But Elsa's looking at me weird. She's about to go pet some giraffes, which is code word for who knows what. But yeah, anyways, at the end of the day, like if you can show some sort of correlation, perhaps something is there. Now, perhaps that's, every 2 weeks is probably like somewhat of a major expiration. So directions do change. So maybe that kind of makes sense as like a logical explanation. It doesn't always work out perfectly, obviously. Nothing's perfect, but just looking at it with fresh eyes, it's not terrible. You'd be, generally probably be more profitable than not if you just traded this blindly. I didn't say that, but fair enough. It is what it is, man. Anyways, yes. So now that we're at the end of this video, what am I essentially implying here? Well, seeing as we just got the bear moon, the bad moon, the bad Bula moon, the bad for the Bula moons, Bitcoin, again, probably trades sideways within this region. I do think that overall this does resolve to the upside, as we've been saying. The question is, how long does it take? Is there another test of the downside before this whole range likely resolves? I still think that that's definitely possible because realistically, the models that we've been looking at on this channel suggesting upside are really projecting like a couple months into the future from now, a little bit less than 2 months. So fair enough. Anyways, yeah, so I think we'll end on that note. I do want to show off, however, a project that I'm invested in called MetaSignals. So again, I'm heavily biased on this, but they basically just... I used to be really fucking against this, and maybe there's a good reason to be against it, but it's basically just a spoon feeding type service where they just spoon feed you setups basically. And what's a real advantage of having something like this? Just gives you a notice of a highly probable setup, and you can do with that as you may. As you can see right here, this one has actually worked out to the third target, but they've literally in the past few days have had 33 signals that worked out. It's always not going to work like that. Of course, there was 4 signals in a row that did not work out before that. Okay, it does happen, obviously. But again, that's the name of the game when you're using statistics to kind of trade for you. So I'll just go through a few of the different... Motherfucker, can you just load, bastard? There we go, AVAX over here as well, hitting that third target. Do we have another one? I think we do. Indeed, it is DYDX, again, hitting that third target. I mean, you'll notice that when one hits, most of the ones that fired off around that time are also going to hit. This one also, getting to that third target, are very, very close to it. APT, same shit. AVAX again, actually, or did we just, or am I going in circles here? I think I am going in circles here, but yeah, you get the idea. Anyways, you can find a link to that service in the description below. Again, it is a project that I am invested in, but as an investor, like, obviously, I believe in it. I mean, that's the whole point of investing in something. It's like fucking duh. I always love it when people say like, he's a paid shill. He's like, when talking about anything else, I'm not talking about myself, although, maybe people say that as well. But I mean, if you're actually investing in things that you believe in, I mean, that's probably the most, like, I don't know, legitimate way of doing it, Anyways, I guess that's just my opinion. If all else fails, fuck the meta signals. Just trade the moons. It'll be pretty damn good as well, but you do have to wait a while for the signals here, of course. Anyways, yeah, it's a good place for me to be leaving off on this rather slow Tuesday. I expect that we're probably in for some more slow days as well, kind of as price action inches into the halving date in just almost 10 days from now. Jesus, man, my speech is not good today. So yeah, bit of waiting, I expect, until then. What do we got? Another week and a half, basically, until that time. So, it's time to be looking at more off the wall type things, more out of left field. So I'll end things on that note. As always, I want to wish you the best. Take care, much love, and see you hopefully Wednesday.